Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're doing what we do best, digging through the noise to get you clear, actionable insights on, well, a topic that feels huge for a lot of people, becoming a millionaire. You know, for many of us, that word probably brings up images of, I don't know, lottery winners, tech giants, maybe people born into money. But what if that picture? What if it's just not accurate? Our mission here is simple. Break down how ordinary people, yes, really, you listening, can actually build serious wealth. Not through luck, but through discipline, practical steps. And we're mainly looking at a really popular source for this, Dave Ramsey's book, Baby Steps Millionaires, based on a great summary we've studied.
Yeah, and what's great about this approach, I think, is that it gives you a clear path, a proven way forward. There are no get-rich-quick schemes here. This isn't about finding the next hot stock tip. It's really just common sense, consistency. It shows that financial independence, it's genuinely achievable for regular folks who are willing to, stick to a plan.
Okay, let's unpack that millionaire idea right from the start. When you hear that word millionaire, what's the first image that comes to mind? Is it the fancy cars? The mansions? It's easy to think building wealth is only for, like, an elite few, isn't it?
It is. But what's fascinating, truly fascinating, is how Dave Ramsey just takes that idea apart. His research looked at over 10,000 millionaires, and his own story, too, is pretty remarkable. What he found, overwhelmingly, is that most millionaires in America, they didn't inherit their money.
Really? Not inherited?
Nope. They built it themselves, step by step, from scratch, often. And Ramsey himself, he went bankrupt in his 20s.
Wow.
Yeah. And then he rebuilt everything using the exact same principles he teaches now. It just shows, it's possible. Your starting point doesn't have to define your ending point.
Okay, so myth busted right there. It's not inheritance. It's not just pure luck. So if it's not some secret handshake or genius move, what does Ramsey say it takes? What are maybe the hidden ingredients for everyday people to build wealth?
Well, it boils down to a few things that sound simple, but they're actually really powerful when you do them consistently. It takes hard work, definitely. You need a plan, a long-term vision. You have to be intentional with your money decisions consistently. And maybe the biggest one, just plain consistency over time, sticking with it.
Right.
Ramsey really hammers this point. Wealth building is a marathon, not a sprint. It's a process. Small, steady actions add up. They compound. But the key message is financial independence, totally achievable if you just commit and stay the course.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
Consistency over flashiness. But what's the actual plan, the roadmap Ramsey gives? I know he calls them baby steps. Millions of people have apparently followed
It
it.
absolutely has. And these 7 baby steps, they're sequential. They're designed as this proven path to get you to financial freedom, eventually millionaire status. So step 1 is save $1,000 for a starter emergency fund.
Okay, $1,000 just to start.
Exactly. Think of it like your first little financial buffer. Because life will happen, right?
Yeah, flat tire, unexpected bill.
Precisely. And without that $1,000, those small things can completely derail your finances, maybe even push you into debt. It's about getting a little breathing room fast.
$1,000 definitely sounds smart. But I can see how some people might think, shouldn't I pay off my massive credit card bill first? Why the $1,000 before debt?
Yeah, that's a common question. It's really about behavior modification, psychology. That small fund stops you from going backward when a minor emergency pops up. It keeps you from reaching for the credit card again.
Ah, okay, so it protects your progress on the next step.
Exactly. Because once that $1,000 is safe, step 2 is huge. Pay off all your debt, except the house, using the debt snowball.
The debt snowball.
Okay.
Explain that one, because it's got a bit of a unique approach, right?
It really does. It's pretty clever, actually. Imagine a snowball rolling downhill, right? Starts small, gets bigger and faster. Same idea with your debts. You list them out, smallest balance to largest balance, ignoring interest rates for a moment.
Smallest to largest. Got it.
Then you attack that smallest debt with everything extra you can find. Once it's gone, boom. You take all the money you were paying on that debt.
Add it to the next one.
And add it to the minimum payment of the next smallest debt. So your payment amount snowballs, gets bigger with each debt you knock out. You get these quick wins early on, which builds incredible momentum and, crucially, keeps you motivated. Feels good.
That momentum sounds almost addictive, yeah. I can picture people like celebrating paying off a small store card like they won the lottery. It really shows how much psychology is involved here.
Oh, absolutely. Financial change is maybe 80% behavior, 20% head knowledge, Ramsey says. So once you've snowballed all that consumer debt away, car loans, credit cards, student loans, everything but the mortgage, you move to step 3, which is save 3 to 6 months of expenses in a fully funded emergency fund.
Okay, so much bigger this time. 3 to 6 months.
Right. This is your real safety net, your protection against the big life events, losing your job, a major illness, something that could stop your income for a while. This fund means you can weather that storm without panic or, again, going into debt.
Makes sense. Security first. Then what?
With that solid emergency fund in place, now you start seriously investing for the future. Step 4. Invest 15% of your household income into retirement accounts.
15%. Okay. And where does that go? Like stocks, bonds?
Typically, Ramsey recommends tax-advantaged retirement accounts first, so things like your 401k at work, especially if there's a company match that's free money.
Right. Definitely take the match.
Always. Or Roth IRAs. These accounts have tax benefits that help your money grow more efficiently over the long haul. The goal here is building that nest egg for your future, letting compound interest work its magic over decades.
Okay, 15% for retirement, then step 5.
Step 5 is saving for your children's college fund, if that applies to you and is part of your plan. Again, he suggests using tax-advantaged accounts specifically designed for education, like 529 plans.
Got it. College savings. What's next? We must be getting close.
Getting there. Step 6 is a big milestone for many people. Pay off your home early.
Whoa! Pay off the mortgage entirely.
That's the goal. Think about living with no house payment. It frees up so much income. Plus, you save an enormous amount in interest over the life of the loan, often tens, even hundreds of thousands of dollars. It represents true financial freedom for most households.
No mortgage payment. That sounds amazing. Okay, that's the final step, step 7.
Step 7 is kind of the culmination. Build wealth and give generously. At this point, you're debt-free, except maybe a paid-for house on its way. You have emergencies covered, retirement is funding. Now you can really accelerate your wealth building, maybe invest even more, and have the freedom to be incredibly generous with your family, your church, charities, whatever causes matter to you. It's about living and giving like no one else.
That's a really clear, powerful progression. 7 steps. But okay, beyond just following these steps, you mentioned Ramsey studied thousands of these actual millionaires. What did he find were their common traits, their habits? What really set them apart day to day?
Yeah, that's a great question. And the findings were maybe surprisingly ordinary in some ways. Like we said, these weren't usually high flyers or lucky inheritors. They were often teachers, engineers, accountants, small business owners, everyday people. And the common threads were really consistent. First, they lived on less than they made, consistently. Budgeting every dollar. They knew where their money was going. Second, they actively avoided debt like the plague. Consumer debt, especially.
Okay, so careful spending, no debt. What else?
They invested steadily, consistently, over a long period of time. That 15% in step 4, they just did it month after month, year after year. And maybe underlying all of it, they were patient. They understood this wasn't going to happen overnight. They played the long game.
Patience. That seems hard in our instant gratification world.
It is. But Ramsey emphasizes that the secret wasn't some complicated financial strategy. It was just the boring, consistent application of these baby steps. They didn't chase shortcuts. They stuck to the plan.
It really does sound like behavior is way more important than, say, having a massive income. Which leads me to ask, what are some of the biggest myths or mental roadblocks Ramsey tackles? The things people believe about wealth that hold them back.
Oh, he definitely goes after a few big ones. Common misconceptions. Myth number 1, you need a high income to become a millionaire. He says that's just flat out false.
How so?
Because it's not about how much you make, it's about how much you keep and what you do with it. Your savings rate matters more than your salary often. Someone making $60,000 a year but saving and investing 15–20% religiously can easily outperform someone making $200,000 who spends it all. It's the gap that matters.
Right, the gap between earning and spending. Makes sense. What's another myth?
Myth number 2, you need debt to get rich, or maybe using good debt like LOICs or investment loans.
Yeah, you hear that sometimes. Leverage.
Ramsey argues the opposite. He says debt is what actually prevents most people from building wealth. It's like trying to run a race with weights tied to your ankles. It drains your income, adds risk, and keeps you from investing in things that actually build wealth, like your own retirement.
So ditch the debt anchor. Okay, one more.
Myth number 3. Becoming wealthy is just for the lucky ones, or people with connections.
The born on third base idea.
Exactly. And he argues, no way. Discipline and consistency beat luck every single time in the long run. Building wealth is about intentional choices, repeated over and over, not waiting for some lucky break or handout.
Those are definitely powerful myths. They feel deeply ingrained in how society talks about money. So if you get past the myths, you follow the steps.
Yeah.
What's the deeper thing Ramsey says needs to happen? Is there like an inner game to this whole process?
Absolutely. This might be one of the most profound points in the book, actually. He says your behavior with money won't fundamentally change until your belief system about money changes.
Belief dictates behavior.
Precisely. He talks about a transformation of mindset. It's about shifting from feeling maybe hopeless or like a victim of your circumstances to feeling hopeful, empowered, and in control. Moving from being reactive, just dealing with bills as they come, to being proactive and intentional about where every single dollar
And
goes.
taking ownership.
Radical ownership. It's about truly believing that you can do this, that change is possible for you, regardless of your past mistakes or current situation. That belief fuels the consistent action needed for the baby steps.
We've got the steps, we've got the mindset shift. But people love stories. Does Ramsey share examples? Real people who did this?
Oh, definitely. The book is packed with them. And that's part of what makes it so relatable and inspiring. You hear stories of single moms who clawed their way out of debt and built wealth, married couples working average jobs who just stuck to the plan for 20 years, even people who started later in life, maybe in their 40s or 50s, and still reached millionaire status by retirement.
So it's not just one type of person.
Not at all. The backgrounds are diverse, the incomes vary, the starting points are different, but the pattern is the same. Focus, discipline, saying no to stuff now so you can say yes to bigger things later, and that relentless long-term thinking. They just prove the plan works if you, well, work the plan.
So wrapping things up here, it feels like Baby Steps Millionaires isn't just a how-to manual for money. It's more like a call to action. It seems to be proving that building real wealth, financial peace, is actually within reach for regular people willing to put in the work. No magic, no quick fixes needed.
That's exactly it. That's the core message. You don't need to be extraordinary. You don't need a fancy degree or a high-powered job necessarily. You just need to be consistent, disciplined, intentional with your money decisions, day in, day out, year after year. The mantra from the book really sums it up, and it's worth saying again. The baby steps work if you work them. It puts the power and the responsibility right back on you.
It's never too late to start. That seems clear. So maybe a final thought for everyone listening. Take a second. Think about your own situation right now. Forget the whole staircase for a moment. What could be your very first achievable baby step on your own path toward financial peace? What's one small thing you